Hello and welcome to today's episode of Simple Business Dream Life with me, Emma Hine. So, today I want to talk about something I've been thinking about a lot recently. And quite frankly, I'm seeing it everywhere at the minute. So, I thought we need to have this conversation. And where I'm seeing it is usually with business owners who are already doing okay. Like, you're not starting from scratch, you've got some clients, you're making some money, but something just quite isn't clicking into place. Something isn't quite going the way that you want it to go. And what I keep noticing here is that you're in a lot of things. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Most of this is coming from a good place. You want to grow, you want to get it right, you're willing to invest, and that is a huge step. So you join the membership, and then you see a course that looks really good, and then you see a challenge, and you think, I'll just do that as well. And before you even really realize what you're doing, you're actually in all of these things with all of these different inputs coming into your business. Different ways of doing things, different strategies, different opinions. And again, none of these things are wrong. And that's where the problem lies. It's not that you've picked badly, you've made investments that were bad investments. It's because you're actually trying to make all of them work at the same time. And I think this is where it starts to feel a little bit messy because you'll start going down one route and then something else is going to grab your attention and you'll think, actually, that might be better. So you shift slightly, not fully, just enough to mean that your attention is now focused on two things, two different ways of doing things potentially. Have two things to keep up with. And then it happens again and again. So two becomes three, four, five, and it's a lot to keep up with, a lot to distract you from the things you really need to be doing, and a lot of money. They may all individually be low ticket, but add them all up, and that's a big chunk of your revenue gone. So if you zoom out, it's not that you're doing anything wrong, it's just that you're doing a lot. It's not that you're not doing anything, you're actually just doing too much. And all of it is becoming diluted. Nothing's really getting your full attention for long enough to actually do what it's supposed to do. And that's a really important thing, for long enough. Whatever we do takes time to actually embed. So we have to allow it the time. But what happens when things don't start to work fast, the frustration kicks in. And you're thinking, I'm investing, I'm showing up, I'm doing all of the things that I should be doing. So why is this not translating into more revenue? And this is the bit that I think it's really important for you to hear. It's probably not that you need something new. It's more likely that what you already have just hasn't been given the space, the time to fully land yet. Because most of the business owners I speak to in this space have something. You've got an offer that works to some degree. You've had clients. You've made money. It's not that it's broken. It's just not being fully leveraged. And instead of going deeper into that, refining it, strengthening it, simplifying it, really understanding how it sells and how it fits into your business, you're being pulled into creating or doing something else, adding something else on top. Trying a different strategy, trying a different community. And I get why. There's always something that looks like it might be that missing piece, that thing that you've been looking for so long. Something that promises to make it clearer, faster, or more scalable. And I'm not saying these things won't do that. But if your attention is constantly moving, nothing really gets the chance to become that solid, reliable part of your business, the really deep, fundamental foundations of your business. And I think this is where things can start to feel heavier than they should. And I don't just mean mentally heavier here, but I mean financially heavier as well. Because you're investing with the expectation that things are going to grow. And when they don't, or they don't in the way that you expected, it's creating even more pressure for you financially, and that vicious circle keeps going. Now, today I want to share a slightly different perspective with you, and this is my perspective. Instead of asking yourself, what do I need to add to make this better, to make this less feast and famine? A more useful question to ask yourself is, what here is already working that I'm not yet fully back in? And then I want you to be really honest with yourself about that because there's something in there. There's always something in there. It might just feel a bit underdeveloped. It might not yet be getting you the results it wants, but it's working. It might not feel exciting enough, or it might feel like it shouldn't be the thing. But more often than not, it is the thing. It just needs some love, some attention, and some time to actually be working properly. And this is why I come back to simplicity so much. Not because simplicity is the easy option, it actually isn't. Simplicity requires you to stop jumping on the next thing, to stop jumping into everything, to sit with what you've got and to make that better, to focus your time and energy in one place long enough to actually see a result from it and to build from there. That's actually hard. It's certainly not the simple option. It's certainly not the easy option. And that is why so many people don't do it until they are ready to give up completely. And then it becomes I'll have to give this a go. But scaling isn't about adding more and more layers. Scaling is about getting something working really well and then leveraging it. And I think deep down, most people already know this. It's just harder to do when there's so much noise telling you to do something else. So if you're in that place right now where your business feels a bit scattered or heavier or harder than it needs to be, just take this as a little bit of a nudge to pause before you add anything else. Come back to what you already have. Look at what's actually driving results for you. Even if right now those results are only small, that is something you can build upon. It's proof that it works. And I want you to ask yourself if you've really given that thing your full attention. And I'm pretty much prepared to guarantee that you haven't. Because that's usually where the shift is. Not in doing more, but in doing what matters properly. And if you want to help with this, then come and have a conversation with me because it's what I love to do. Because simpler is absolutely the way that you are going to get the growth. Thank you for listening. I will see you next time.